Well, I think Obama always wins when he does what he did there. Calm, cool, boring. You know?
He bores you to death.
He's got to be, you know, when he plays the part of the most boring black man you've ever seen in America, he wins. And it's funny because, you know, all the liberals say, you know, why don't you go after McCain more? Why don't you fight him and get him? And how can you take that? He's smarter than all of us. He knows what he has to do is just what he did there. Don't take the bait. You know, I keep calling him the Jackie Robinson of American politics. Now, you, Larry, as the ultimate Brooklyn Dodger fan, know what I'm talking about.
I knew Jackie.
You knew Jackie. Oh, you did? You knew him personally?
Interviewed him a couple of times. Saw his first game.
Well, as you well know, he had to be perfect. As the first black guy in baseball, he could not react.
Couldn't get mad.
Couldn't get mad. If he wasn't perfect, they would have said, no, black people don't belong in baseball. And it's the same with Obama. He cannot make one mistake, and he never does. Imagine if he showed up somewhere 5 minutes late or played into any stereotype that racists think about black people. They would say, oh, well, we can't have a president who's going to be on colored people's time. Come on.
What do you make of this whole Joe the Plumber? An Ohio plumber had an off-the-cuff chat with Obama about tax policies. Joe the Plumber got mentioned. In fact, we have this, there's a kick out of this. We got a blog from Michelle, who blogs, Bill, isn't it funny that Joe the Plumber has already done more interviews than Sarah Palin?
I did that joke today. We do our, the bloggers are beating me to my monologue. Oh, that's not a good sign. We do a rehearsal on Thursday for our show tomorrow. I just did that joke.
You can still
I think it worked better for her. I think it's great that McCain has chosen this guy to be the exemplar of middle America because, to me, Joe the Plumber proves exactly what I've been saying and many people have been saying for so long about the Republican Party in the modern era. They take advantage. They prey on people like Joe the Plumber who don't really understand the issues. He finally admitted, I think, today that, yes, Obama's plan, tax plan, would actually benefit him more. But you see, Joe the Plumber, who, by the way, isn't really a plumber.
Not a plumber?
He's kind of Joe the Liar. Well, he doesn't have a plumbing license. You know,
so how does he plumb?
Exactly. And he's like so many. This is what the Republicans do. They prey on people who have a dream. Now, we're all for dreams. I'm not against dreams. The American dream, terrific. But sometimes it's just a fantasy. And Joe thinks, apparently, he's going to take over his boss's business and make more than $250,000 a year. So really what we're talking about is someone who would benefit from the plan that Obama has on the table, but doesn't want to vote for Obama for whatever reason. He might think he may be an Arab or a communist or, you know, maybe he's black. Joe the Plumber did compare him to Sammy Davis Jr. tap dancing today.
He did?
Yeah. He said he tap danced on the answer to taxes like Sammy Davis Jr. Kind of tipping your mitt there, Joe the Plumber. But you know, Obama is for people who live in reality, who actually need money and a tax break now. He's living in the Republican fantasy world where he's going to become rich and he's going to have over $250,000, and then he might have to pay some more taxes, Larry. And we can't have that in America because we only have 2 wars going. The economy is melting. We're $11 trillion in debt. You know, at some point, somebody is going to have to pay the taxes. Neither one of the candidates was very forthcoming about that last night.
Yeah, and did you call Sarah Palin a Category 5 moron?
I believe I did.
I did.
I also called her a stewardess, and I apologized to stewardesses. Crew laugh. I love a crew laugh.
Well,
here at ultra-quiet CNN.
Christopher Buckley this week announced his support for Barack Obama and called her nomination, I think ridiculous. That may not be the term, but in that kind of
He's not the only conservative to have done that. Because, you see, there's a sort of false argument going on with Sarah Palin, which is that she's not experienced. She's certainly not that. But they want that argument because Obama doesn't have a wealth of experience at the national level either. But he was a college professor. He knows constitutional law. He's a very bright guy who's done a lot of things in this realm. But it's not that. It's that she doesn't know anything, Larry. You have to know things to be in government. We used to know this. We used to assume this. People used to take civics as a course where they learned how government works. This is what was great about the Clintons. You know, they were boring policy wonks, but they knew how government worked, and they believed that government could work. The people who have taken over since don't believe government works, and then they get into office and prove that it doesn't work by the way they run it.
Why do you think McCain chose her?
because he needed to shore up the base, which
there
shows...
aren't other shore-ups that might have had more experience?
No, not the wing nuts. I think you want...
The wing nuts?
The wing nuts, the right-wing nuts.
Oh, the wing nuts.
We call them the wing nuts.
Okay.
And they live in an echo chamber that McCain has bought into. You heard him last night talk about William Ayres, Acorn, you know, all this stuff that the American public, the independent voter, is going, huh? Acorn, what's that? He mentioned FARC, you know, in Colombia. I think they thought he said fart. You know, they don't know what he's talking about. To the wingnuts, this all makes sense. Oh, yeah, Acorn, they're the ones who caused this economic meltdown and voter fraud, which is a completely bogus
So she's
issue.
the appeal to that group? Is that group going to elect him?
No, because I don't think there's enough of them anymore, and because Obama has excited enough rational people who are finally getting out to vote, young people. If all the people that Obama has excited to get out to the polls had done it, we wouldn't have had George Bush to begin with.
If you just joined us, we're waiting for Senator McCain and then